some basic chokes, okay? I like this choke because just a lot of times you'll start to do things that motivate. I call them motivators. You can motivate somebody. Pressure can be a motivator. A threatening attack can be a motivator. An uncomfortable position can be a motivator. You see what I mean? Sometimes to motivate somebody, you simply just have to move in a certain direction. If that person is what they like to call risk averse, meaning they don't like the risk of you choking them, they're gonna freak out. So, this is a good one. You're in side control. You're holding there. They're just super tight. Good person at nights is Tony. Tony's good. He's purple belt. He sits there and he's super tight. Matter of fact, most of the time we start out with me and Mount or doing something and I get through his defense because he's just so tight with all his defenses and he's quick to just back stuff away. And you see, so it's a good challenge for me and he keeps his defense game up. If I'm here in side control, and what I like to do is if I roll with you, you know I get this alternate kind of side control where I'm not here, I'm at an angle. This works really well from here. So if I'm here with Matt, right, and we're training, and he's just kind of tight, he's just framing, he's not even really trying to escape, he's just like, whatever, you're not gonna do anything. One of the things I like to do is I go for this bread cutter setup. It's a thumb in grip here, and I like to come in, and what I'll do is I come in thumb in, 4 fingers on the collar, right? I'll grab as much of this if I like, you know what I mean, material-wise. And then what I like to do is, I don't just grab it and turn my elbow. I'm gonna use the pad of my hand here, this one, and I'm gonna turn it in like that, right? I just turn it like this. So if I come here, it's there. But if I turn that in, it creates a pressure, uncomfortable, and it does begin to choke a little bit. Yeah. So when you're looking at a choke in the gi, you always have the choking side, but then you have the anchor. If I don't have the anchor, right, then what happens is there's a good chance there's more space being created and the choke will take a longer distance to finish. Bow and arrow, for example. I don't have an anchor, so when I do the bow and arrow, I dive for the leg, which creates a wider, I guess, choke distance to make it tighter, but you're going so far that it makes that choke really tight. If I do a simple collar choke, I get my choking hand and then I get the anchor. And then I bring this one across. This one usually doesn't move, right? For this, we're motivating. This is the beginning of the situation and setup. So I'm here. Like I said, I'm here in side control. He's not doing nothing. He's chilling. I put my hand in here, keeping a nice bend in my elbow. I never want to be straight. And the reason is because if he decides to roll over, he takes his right arm and goes over my elbow, he can lock as he rolls, he can lock my arm in sometimes, and it turns into a arm bar for me, especially if you're on the same side here. Yeah, never want to lock that in. He's pinched my wrist against his neck, and he's got leverage. I either don't go, and it breaks my arm, or I roll with him, and now I'm on the bottom. We're on this side, but you know what? I still like the principle, keeping my elbow bent, because this pushes my knuckles which way? Towards the mat. But if I bend my elbow, where does my wrist turn? Where does the pad of my hand turn? It turns towards his neck. And it creates this good tension on his collar against his neck, and it'll start to make you think, oh crap, something's coming, right? And my elbow's down, so when he tries to swim under my arm, it's difficult with the elbow on the outside. Yeah, I can pinch that to stop it, right? If I need to. So I'm here. Now we've created some motion, okay? This is the first part of the bread cutter. This is just to motivate, right? If he wants to sit there and be tough, cool, let him be tough. I'll just put that right there, and I'll play pressure, and we sit there all day. First part is this setup here. Now, there are some details here that you have to get where they're gonna be able to block this choke. Now, what happens is, this is the weird part. So we have to get, this hand has to come underneath this arm, and it has to sit up for a second. It has to grab here, okay? That's our anchor. That's what we're gonna lever this choke with, okay? So, a good practice for this, and the setting up of the hands doesn't necessarily have to be this one first and then that one. A lot of people will do the underneath one first, then the bread cutter, right? Because if I don't need to motivate him, I need to get this sneaky one underneath the net because that one's a little more deceptive, right? They don't know the choke is there. And I'll show you. I'm here, right? Whatever the case, I lift him up. I get this. Do you feel like I did a whole lot of movement and did anything? I lifted, he turned on his side. I held this arm. I grabbed that collar. It's in my hand. Now, I have to clear this arm from being in front, and it has to go to the other side of my body. It has to end up, drop a little, here. The reason being, if I try to do this choke with that arm inside, he's going to use it to defend. But on that side, no king defend. It is out of it. Okay? So normally, we get here, we got this, we're going to start coming this way, north-south. I let my body lay on that, make it uncomfortable, pressure him. You know what I mean? I might start attacking this arm. As I slide over, he naturally clears that out because he doesn't want that action. Now, whether you back step or slide back, either way, back step looks like this. Come in, grab this, now watch. You can pressure in here, boom, and that's gonna create the choke and the finish. But watch how I do my hips. Thread the needle, and I drop facing. My hips face his hips. What that does is, got my anchor, got my choke. When I'm this way, I get pressure in. He may be able to push on my face, push me backwards, right? Because my hips are facing away from him. But when I do a thread the needle and I face him, just turn my hips towards his hips, now all my body weight drops down on that choking, scissoring, bread cutting side, and then my hips are facing that way. So if he tries to bridge in, he's not gonna bridge in. He's not gonna be able to bridge me over. See what I mean? He can't bridge it. We're here, boom, I got him up. I use this to come over, he clears. If you just wanna walk back, that's fine. We get here, boom. Deep as you can, doesn't have to be to the tag. If it is, amazing, do the tag, because that's gonna really kill them fast. But if you get here, that's fine. Enough to where you're in line with his ear. See his ear? If I can get my fingers down at least that far, this is gonna be good. Come in, my hips are here, maybe I back stepped, maybe not. If I'm here and he wants to bridge up towards me to get out of this, right? He can bridge up, push on my, go back. Do like you're doing a sit-up, walk your legs away and sit up. Yeah, see how that can happen? I wouldn't abandon it because you still have the choke. You can choke somebody from the bottom like that. You just have to elbow up more. But why do that? Why even risk that, right? So if I'm here, and I thread the needle to turn and face him, or if I'm just here and I slide in and I come here. Now, I'm choking, I'm choking him, boom, I'm letting my weight drop in as I'm pressuring his choke. If for some reason it's not working, here's a little added extra that you can do in order to finish. Watch my elbow on the choking hand, this hand. I start taking this elbow and I start riding it up. And I loosened up the grip quite a bit. And you just start bringing that up. And that's going to create the choke. So, first step is getting that thing here, right? You can get the first grip being that choke. We're going to be deceptive with it. That first grip on the bread cutter is what we're going to call a motivator. It motivates people, right? If he lifts his body or moves, and I can get that second part, that's fine. You can do it then. The only reason why I say to set up sneaky first, I'm here, boom. He like tries to roll away from me for whatever reason, I don't know why. Boom, and I grab this. He knows what's happening. He is never gonna take his right arm and put it on the other side of my body. In this situation, would you ever like take your right arm and just totally push it away? No. He's gonna start dropping his elbow, he's gonna start trying to push, he's gonna be, yeah, this is no longer a thing for me, right? Even if I start walking, you know, and I try to get that, he's not bringing that arm down. That arm's not gonna make its way over here. So I'm here with it. I can motivate him, I can drop it in and be heavy, but he can push on my hip. Take his right hand and push on my hip and try to push, yeah. Yes, give him some space. I can be trying, but it's not gonna finish. Once again, I like to use it, it's a good motivator. But if they do that, gift to my child. Enjoy it, take it, better finish it. So, we're here, I'll sit here, rock him up, whatever the case. I'm like, I want this. I shoot it underneath, grab his collar, pass. Oh, it's in, it's done now. Now, even if he grabs me like this, walk my hand around, here. Come up, thumb in, grab it, switch my hips, and we drop. At that point, it's just holding on and leaning in. Grip on the back of the neck, clear the arm, come back, grab it, look at his hips. Any questions? All right, on three, skip our parts. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so you're clear, right? So good. When you do this, go ahead. When you're passing over him, head grabs. So go ahead and get your arm back. Normal. Go ahead and grab that back of his collar. Right? Now, hips low. Like grind your body across him like you're just smashing into his face. You want uncomfortability, right? You want, yes, there, stop. As soon as this arm pops out from when you were right here, let your hips sag, let everything, yes, like that. Heavier? Good. Now that it's clear, you can either step back and grab that grip. Is that it? Right here. Nice. Thumb in. So grab where it's comfortable, right? Now, switch your hips like this. Now drop your hips to the ground. Yes. He's already. Yeah. See what I mean?
And if they're still not, then
But make sure you're, so when you're going across their face, you want like, you grade everything across their face. It motivates them to do this. They're like, oh, this is terrible. They're trapping my arm. I don't like this. I gotta get this out. That's what you want. But if you're just kind of going across, you're just being, this is gonna be just kind of pushing him. He's gonna grab. Nah, I don't feel danger. I feel danger. So then he's here, sitting here doing this number. Okay. Right? And I'm coming across. Yeah, you want that arm out? Yeah. You see? And I'm coming here. And any chance I give him that, yeah. He slides it out and I kind of lift it. Yes. Boom. And then I come back. Other than that, he's just gonna be like, no, I'm good. I'm defending my neck.
and that way, your foot's bleeding.
Oh, snap. Man down. You can do like he's doing and make it look like a pressure pass. Yeah. And then that arm comes out and it's like, oh snap, I don't like this pressure. Yeah. Once you're there, now, once it's clear, guys, you don't have to come all the way around. Just once you clear that arm, boom. Front of the neck with the elbow. You're just gonna turn and face his hips.
Eric will usually go over their head and clear the arm.
So when I do it, I'm like I was showing them, I pressure, lots of pressure. I want you to feel like, oh my God, my arm is trapped and I'm being isolated one side. I don't like this. And I'm waiting for that arm to pop out. Once that arm pops out, I can go back. So if I'm here with you, here, boom, or aside, whatever the case, and I'm doing pressure like that, yeah. I just want you up enough so I can get this, right? Very slow, you probably didn't do a whole lot, right? So now I'm here. Now I'm gonna come here, boom. And I grab this arm up so you don't turn belly down. So I don't want you belly down. Feel dangerous on that arm? Like you want to get that arm out. Boom, and I'll turn and I'll go this far. Because now your arm popped out. Yes, that's what I wanted. So that portion of it is experience. Like once you start doing that, that person on bottom, make them uncomfortable. Notice I grabbed his far arm. In this situation, I don't want him bellying down. Would you have bellied down if I had kept going? He would have bellied down. Grabbing that arm, this arm's trapped, this arm's being crushed. I got this. If I keep going, your mind tells you, oh man, he's letting my arm free on this side. I get this arm out. I don't have another arm. Pop it out. That's what I want. I've created a maze where the only way you can go is the way I want you to go. And that's pretty much what you want on this one. So if they look like they're about to belly down or turtle up, grab that arm and pull it in tight. Holding this. start working around. You can feel that arm. You can feel him pulling that arm out. You feel him pulling that arm out? Squeeze a little bit. Oh no, he doesn't want me to get that arm out. And then you're like, I got my arm out. Woo, you suck. Break that joke. It's a mental game. This is where that strategy comes in. All right? Because you don't have to be hurried with this. Be patient. Let that patience work. Because guess what? You're on top position. You ain't got to rush. You know what I mean? So take your time. Be heavy. Leave no space. Give it a few more tries. Other three. Hey! That's awesome. Comes him up. I felt bad. Never clap. All right. Sorry.
Go.
Thread that needle. You know what I mean when I say thread the needle? Left foot, you plant it on the ground. Take your right foot and slide it underneath. This way. You can turn all the way over. See how easy and slick that was?
Yes.
Yeah, now you go ahead and finish. CJ, were you working with them real quick?
Absolutely.
Turn your hips out.
So, yeah. And when you do that, and just you don't have to get the choke, but when you turn and face your hips towards him, go ahead. Just turn and face your hips towards him. Boom. Here.
This arm.
That's yeah. There you go. So you're here, right? Bend that knee a little bit. Bend on this one. Bend it up. Yes. Because now, if he and then you turn your shoulders too, like drop your elbows, and I know you're not trying to kill him, but then turn your shoulders, and drop your shoulders to the mat, drop everything, put all your all your pressure goes on this hand. Okay. In this front arm. So now, tuck this elbow and turn. Face his hips. Face. Yeah. Got a little pressure mat here.
Yeah.
So you're doing this. Here. Boom. Once I get in there, I'm dropping everything here.
Okay.
But I'm making sure my legs aren't like this. Here. And again, in case it comes to gum up, I can.
Good case.
Yeah.
Okay. Now go.
Nice.
And then for me, being lighter, I tend to know that the more of my torso I have on somebody, they can tip me over. And so for me, I tend to keep my shoulders, I sink all the way down to my shoulders and my head are on this side. I don't keep my shoulders and my head over here, they don't make tip. If I sink all the way down here, then I can flare that elbow up. That way I know they can't hit my whole body in sling can.
The second you start switching your hips, like,
well,
oh,
you're tightening up your slide.
that was good.
Tighten just by going like this.
Really deep.
See what I'm saying? As you're sliding down, it's also tightening it up. It's actually really good.
And they literally have to bench press and you
Try one more time.
Yeah.
Because as lighter grapplers, I'm sure you guys recognize that people go easy and then they don't use a threat. Sometimes you're like, I can just pick them up and go. But when you do stuff like that, that makes them go, oh crap. Because they'll give you that moment, right, CJ? They'll be like, oh, I can just pick them up.
I got your arm here. Smash it inside.
Nice.
You should get real deep.
Dreams come true.
It only happened once, but it
So
happened
we're getting
once.
deeper, really.
And it's on camera.
And it's on
And
camera.
it's on camera, so that's the only highlight you need. Everything else is just rumor.
So if you could save some of it, I think that's better. I'm saying, reaching in and grabbing that grip, the second grip,
Uh-huh.
the deeper it goes down that collar, the less he has to use the hip switch.
Yeah, because the second, like,
Well,
he
you
was doing
always,
it on me, he got real deep.
I'll say you always want to use the hip switch. Always do the hip switch. And the reason I say that is because you never know.
Okay. And when he started switching his hips, like, he got him real deep, and then the second, like, his hips started switching, I just felt it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you want,
So
Gives you a little more.
it's what, a blood choke, right?
yes.
Yeah.
And so what you want is, you want to always do it the way you're supposed to. Always go through the move and do the mechanics the way you're supposed to. Even if every time you do this, every time you do it, you get that set up and you drop your elbow to the side of their neck, they're already tapped.
Okay.
Always make that hip switch, because what happens is, and I can tell you, you get used to training, and I always get this and they tap. You find yourself in a tournament and you get here and you're like, well, why haven't they tapped? Where's my gold medal? I should already be a winner. And that person fights out of it, and you're like, oh crap, I had a perfect submission scenario, completely locked in, and should be on the podium at the top. I screwed up because I didn't go through the techniques and the motions that I'm supposed to every time, and I got lazy. Always throw it.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean? If they tap, just be ready to let go. Know that they tap beforehand, but always put your hips. Always put your hips. Always put your hips. Not specifically this mode. This submission is what I messed up. It is one that everybody in here knows that, oh my God, when he gets you in this position, you're pretty much done. Because I got in a tournament as a white belt and about to get my blue belt and had a fully locked submission, and the dude worked his way out, and I'm sitting here going, why hasn't the ref stopped it? Everyone taps in training when I get here. Dude, always doing it. Good practice, because you never know the day you're gonna do it, and that person can be like, no. But you get to that turn, your hips are facing theirs, and they're still no. See what I'm
Oh, yeah, I
saying?
forgot that was,
Elbow up. This is even good, so when you practice this, it's even good to do it with a looser grip. Let's say you can't get as deep as you want, but you can still come across and get it, right? So if I come across and I can get my thumb not by his ear, but I get it around his clavicle, right here, that doesn't seem like a very deep grip. But once I get underneath and I get this block, right? I'll put it this way, even here, if I go and I drop and I pressure in, I can get the submission, right? How far down the collar can we go? The proper mechanics are gonna make it work even if your grip isn't the best. That's another reason why I say go through the mechanics. Always do it the right way. Always turn your hips. You see what I'm saying? So even down here, right? Boom. I screwed up. I forgot to get his arm out. Turn here. Still can get the submission, even if you're not in the perfect scenario. Always try to get that arm out. Always try to get here as deep as you can, but if you can't, don't feel like I can't go for the finish because it's not deep enough. If you get it anywhere near his neck and you have connection on this, on his neck and all, remember, here works. Okay? So when you're practicing that and you're going through it, guys, give it a shot. Just what I was reinforcing with these guys is always turn your hips. Always get ready to flare your elbow. And the reason being is because even if you start training this and you become a master of this, and jokers are tapping as soon as you get it locked in because you get it so tight because you're so used to it, always go through the motion. Because there's going to be that one day when you're going to need it. And there's going to be a resistant person where they got blocked just good enough, or you can't quite get there just enough. And you're going to be like, why hasn't this person tapped there? And it's because you're stopping where you always stop in your routine. But if you always went with your hips down and elbow flare, they would tap. See what I'm saying? So sometimes when you're training and you think you're good at this choke or any submission, you think I've got this mastered, I'm good at it. Try to finish it from a less than perfect position. See if you can finish from there. See what you need to adjust. You can adjust up a little bit, maybe get closer. See what it looks like to have to struggle to get it back. You know what I mean? It's just gonna make that submission better for you. You're gonna realize the limits of where you have it still. You can still make it work, or you need to abandon it and go somewhere else. See what I'm saying? Ooh, I almost lavish. I keep fighting and waste all my energy for this person to still get out, or should I bail and transition to something better now? You see what I mean? All these help. So if you're not getting it every time, work on getting to where you need to be to get it. You go from there. See what works. Kind of play with it some. See how it works out. Okay? But definitely, if they're being stagnant, bring that first bread cutter grip across. Use it to motivate them. Okay? If they want to be stubborn and sit there losing half the blood to their brain, then I agree with your decision. We're gonna boom, boom, boom. They'll move. You get good enough with that palm, they're gonna start making movements. You might not get that bread cutter choke, but it's gonna open them up a little bit. Okay? Any questions? All right, guys, on three. 1, 2, 3. Out and roll.